welcome to Vlogmas Day 21. So, it's like last week I knew it was a baseline for sleep therapy, but I also thought I was actually getting sleep therapy. Like, I for real thought that just telling me to go to bed at 11 and wake up at 7 was a treatment, and like no naps, right? Like, nope, that wasn't a treatment. That was just a baseline. Like, this is the first week of treatment. So this is the week of sleep, the first week of sleep restriction. Yesterday, when I went to bed, I got to feel what sleepiness was like, guys. I don't feel sleepy often. Like, I didn't, like, I like kind of knew the concept, obviously, but yeah, mostly I just feel tired. I don't feel sleepy. So yesterday I got to feel sleepy. I was like fighting for the last hour to stay awake, because you can't go to bed early. So yeah, I'm in the sleep restriction phase. It's pretty bad. Like so that they'll never let you get less, like they'll never restrict you to less than 5 hours of sleep. And I am pretty close to that, like, benchmark or whatever, which is annoying. But also, I guess, like, I was just thinking about all the doctors that just said, no, you're just really stressed out, and never actually, like, took me seriously. Because I'm not. I would always be like, I'm not, though. Like, really, I'm not that stressed out, I feel like, comparatively to lots of people. But yeah, so I'm in the sleep deprivation phase, and I have been awake for 2 hours. I mean, it's 8:30. I got out of bed at 7:10, but I was awake at like 6:30. Remember, my bedtime is 1:15. Yeah, I still feel like I could fall asleep at any minute, which is obviously what they're kind of going for, right? Like, it sleep deprived me so that I sleep better. Like yesterday, when I got into bed, I was out, and that never happens to me. It was like so nice to lay down and just go to sleep. If only it stayed that way when I was continually in bed. But being in bed for less than 6 hours is really challenging, and I'm like really scared about the next 2 weeks, just because they said that this week I should feel really tired, but next week I'll probably feel even worse. Like, next week is the last week before my practice session for the training. Like, I have to be ready, and if I'm so tired that I, like right now, where it's like I can't think because I'm so tired, and I thought I was tired last week. That's the part that I'm like, oh my god. Anyway, enough about that. Today we are going to drive up north, to spend the weekend with Steve's parents and their family. And so I don't think we're gonna go up till like the afternoon. And so in the meantime, I'm going to work on knitting and do other things to try to stay awake. I'm gonna edit my yesterday's vlog right now, and I'll check in a little later on what I'm doing. Have a good day, guys. The joys of being a Minnesotan. Putting air in the tires because it's cold. It's actually really warm out right now for winter. It's like in the 30s, mid 30s, upper 30s even maybe. What's it say, 38? Yeah, it's nice. Even up north where we're going, it's supposed to be pretty warm. Hey guys, Steve and I have just left to start going up north. I apologize for the bags under my eyes. I got feedback from one of my viewers that I never explained the card activity that I did in my last video. So sorry. I really meant to, and then like even in editing I like did not notice that I just never talked about it. So for part of our like professional development at work, we're starting this thing called Bridge, and there's a card sort. So there's cards in what, like 6 categories. I don't know what the categories are. They just have them in like different colored piles or whatever. And you're supposed to, in each category, flip all the cards. I think there's like 9 cards-ish per category, and choose up to 3 from that category. And then you take those 3, and then you shuffle all of your cards together once you've gone through all the piles, and you've chosen 1 to 3 from each section. I guess you could probably choose none, I guess, if none resonated with you from that section, but there's a lot of cards, and so you're supposed to end up with 18 or so, and you shuffle those 18, and then you lay 5 out at random. And then you take the next card and you flip it, and you look at the 5 that you have and the 1 that you just flipped, and like, can you change it out, or do you not want to change it out? So the goal is that you end up with your top 5 career drivers. Once you are satisfied with those, then you either, think about where they're at in that line is like the midline, the neutral position. And then you can slide them up or down to indicate your level of satisfaction in your current job right now with those drivers. So I think my final 5 that I ended up with were culture, and so like it also said in the video, there's a little video that accompanied it, that you could, if you viewed certain things within like one overarching topic, you could put them together. So like I had my culture, and underneath it had feeling valued, trust, and feeling empowered. And then my second one was variety, and underneath it I had diversity. So like variety and diversity mean the same thing to me, like variety of tasks, but also a variety of people and viewpoints. Third was autonomy, and underneath that I had flexibility, because those mean basically the same thing to me. Like I like to be trusted to do my own thing and to be kind of left alone to make my own decisions a lot of the time, like use my professional judgment. And was that 3 of them? Work-life balance, and and challenge. And then underneath it I think I had problem solving. So all of those things are my 5 drivers. So culture, variety, challenge, work-life balance, and autonomy. Those are my 5. And then so then after that you take how you sort of slid the cards up and down for your satisfaction with where you're at in your job right now, and then you put them online in like sliders, and so your boss gets to look at them. And so after I did that exercise later in the afternoon, I met with my boss, and we talked about like my level of satisfaction with those drivers and what we can do to make it better. And so we mostly ended up just talking about what I felt dissatisfied about and what that means to me. And it was a really good conversation. Like my boss is very open and understanding, and he's very good at not getting defensive about things, at least with me at this point. And so that allows me to be able to feel like I can talk freely without sounding like I'm complaining, because like the things that I am dissatisfied about are completely justified. And yeah, I don't want to get too deep into it on here, I feel like, but basically he agreed with what I was saying. So, and like he understands where I'm coming from. And yeah, so that's what that is. I think it's pretty cool. I like this job is trying to do better, trying to like find ways to help people like reflect and do better. I know that there are a lot of people who don't take stuff like that seriously, and it's really strange to me coming from teaching, because as a teacher you're constantly reflecting and evaluating and changing the way that you do things and the way that you approach. Like, you have to be very flexible and adaptable to be a teacher. And it's interesting how so many other positions just literally, I've already heard at the University of Minnesota, like #1 in innovation in our minds, you know, kind of place, people say, now I've already learned everything I already need to learn, I don't need to do anything else. Or like, this is stupid, I only care about blah 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 IT process, I don't need my personal self in it. Like, the idea that people are not interested in personal growth just like boggles my mind. Like, I like don't understand what that life is like. I care so much about challenge and personal growth. I have left so many jobs because I didn't feel challenged, and because I wasn't growing as a person, and because I wasn't changing things. I need, like, of those 5, I think variety is #1. Like, I need variety in all things. So yeah, so that's what that is. I think it's a cool exercise. You should do something like that just in your life. Just evaluate like where you're at and how satisfied you are and what you can do to change that. So anyway, that is the card exercise. A day late. We're going up north. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to upload a video on the internet up north. We'll see. And I'm gonna definitely get some footage of us driving up north. I brought like 6 different knitting projects. You can never have too many knitting projects. I have a lot of anxiety about not having enough knitting. And so that's what I'm gonna be working on. Right now, Steve is in a GameStop looking at game deals. I would have accompanied him inside, but I couldn't find my sweatpants, and I like to be comfortable when traveling. And so I'm wearing pajama pants, and I just feel like a 32-year-old adult woman who is me, no judgment to anybody else, who is me, should not go into a store in pajama pants. And I don't match either. Yeah. So, just sitting in the car, filming my thing. So, that's my day. It's what, about 4:30. So we'll get up north by like around 8:30. We might stop and grab some food. We already got stuff to drink. I just got a hot chocolate since I can't have caffeine in the afternoon. Like, I'm really excited for how out of control, I'm like looking at my dark circles, how out of control my dark circles are right now. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend, and if you are working this weekend and you work in retail, really sending support and love, and just know that there's only a few days left and then these holidays will be over. I'll talk to you guys later.